Once again, coming to you live from the Bonfire Studios North. It's another episode of Toros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me, as always, Ken Oda.
I had no idea we were starting the show. I was in my own little world. Sorry.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah.
Ken, 3 points this weekend against a pretty good Austin team. That's another solid weekend. It's not like the sweep against Bismarck, but it's a good weekend.
Yeah, you hate to give up the charity point on Friday night, and let them come back and tie that. We were up one in the third. They tied the game. You hate to see that. You'd like to get out of there, when you go into the third with a lead, get out of there with 2 points in regulation. But yeah, Austin's a good team. This whole division is. We've talked year after year about how tight this division is, and this year it really is. 52 points for us in Bismarck, 50 for Austin, and Aberdeen sitting at 60, so the top of the division is tight as always. And the Wilderness, so we've seen they knocked us off, split with us when they were up here early last month, and then they swept Bismarck right after that. So the fifth place team can beat anyone, and we've seen St. Cloud's knocked off everyone in the division, including Aberdeen. So, this division is a battle every night, and if you take 3 out of 4 points every weekend the rest of the way, I think you'll be pretty happy.
Oh, yeah, and not to mention, we'll touch on this at the end of the show, but Toros are going to start playing Aberdeen more, so you can start seeing that. But as I said, we'll touch on that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Big show tonight. We're going to have 3 guests, kind of themed with the top prospects. So tonight we'll start with the NHL Selects team, and our first guest from that team is Mr. Kyler Clevin. Kyle, welcome back to Toros Weekly.
Thank you.
We 3 guys to the Selects team. Kyler, you're one of them. You've been on the Central Scouting watch list, so probably not a shock since NHL Central Scouting puts these Selects teams together. But to actually hear your name out on that roster, how did that feel?
Yeah, it's an honor to make it. It's been a goal of mine for a couple months to keep playing well and try to make that team, and it's going to be a super fun experience. There's a lot of really good players that made the team, and it's going to be a fun couple of days. And the first day, we actually get to play against some of our teammates, Cole O'Connell and Jay Buchholz. So we play the Central team right away, so that'll be fun.
You're competing with them every day in practice. You've competed against some of them when you played in Fargo, Moorhead, that area. What's it going to be like to actually compete against them wearing a different jersey this time?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. There's definitely going to be some chirps flying around on the ice. I'm going to give them a couple hacks here and there, get under their skin a little bit. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun experience for sure.
Yeah, you would have been playing a third Toro in that game, but Ben Garrity commits today to University of Wisconsin. Congrats, Benny. You disappointed to see him not at top prospects, or are you just more excited that he gets the commitment?
I'm actually not disappointed not see him there because he's a super good goalie. It'd be hard to score on him, so I'm super proud of him that he committed to Wisconsin today, and yeah, I'm super excited for him.
What are some expectations that you have for yourself going into top prospects? Like, what are you wanting to do?
Yeah, obviously there's gonna be a lot of eyes on everybody there, and I just gotta go in there and play my game, just play hard, have fun, and just enjoy the moment, enjoy the couple of days. Being around a bunch of new kids and stuff like that. So you just got to go out there, have fun, and just hope for the best.
Yeah, you won't have the benefit. I think most likely Skinner, Sam, and Baumgartner will probably end up paired together. That seems to be the way things work. You won't have any teammates with you. Do you worry at all about forming chemistry and line mates and kind of that all-star game format where you're playing with guys you don't really know?
Yeah, so you just got to go out there and just make the simple plays right away. Obviously you guys probably aren't going to be on the same page right away, but then again, all these players are really good, so it shouldn't be too tough to get a little chemistry going maybe after the first period or so. So you just got to play simple, play hard, and just hope for the best, because you never know who you're going to play with or how it's going to be right away. So maybe coach will switch things around too once he sees certain players and how they play and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You started off the season a little slow, I think. Really, you've come on a ton of late. What's changed for you, and aside from the puck's just been going in like crazy?
Yeah, so being a season, I was still new to juniors, the speed and the physicality and everything. It was pretty fast. I think it took me a while to get my first goal, and I was just gripping my stick a little too tight. Like wasn't aiming my shots as I'd like, and then got the first one. Then after that, like my confidence just went right up, and I don't know, everything just felt a lot better. Like every time I got the puck, I felt like I had more confidence with it, and as of late, I was just trying to play consistent, and that's been my biggest focus lately.
You know, you were named to that preseason watch list, correct?
Yep.
Did you feel any added extra pressure from being named to that before the season started?
No, I knew about it in the showcase and stuff like that, and I just try to put it aside and just focus on playing my own game. And you try not to think about that stuff, and you just try to think about your own game and playing hard every night and set that stuff aside because there's always going to be outside distractions.
You know, your family was in town last week, so that was always nice to have.
Yeah, for sure.
And they've traveled to several of your games.
Yeah.
But what's it just like having them finally come see you play in Minot?
Yeah, it's awesome. My mom, my uncle Steven, and my nana all came this weekend, and you don't get to see your family that often when you're playing juniors. I haven't seen them for a couple of months, so it's always fun for them to get in town and watch you play a couple of games, especially at home. So I'm sure they're all watching right now, so shout out to all of them watching the show. So
Yeah, we finally got to meet your grandma Helen, and she was super excited and super nice. So
yeah, for sure.
It was nice finally getting to meet you, Helen.
Yeah, she loves you guys. She hasn't missed a Toros Weekly or a game yet, so she's probably our biggest fan, I've got to say.
What is just having that family support like, knowing that while they're not there, they're still watching from afar?
Yeah, it's huge. Like after every single game, your family and everybody will be texting you and telling you good job and all that stuff and asking you how practice is going. So yeah, it's huge and gives you a little bit of motivation to keep playing hard and knowing that everybody's behind you and your family and they want the best for you. So it's awesome. I couldn't be more thankful.
You're not from that far away, just 4.5 hours or so down the road. So that certainly helps. But what is the adjustment to Minot, the town, not Minot, the hockey team, but just the city here? What has that been like for you being away from home?
Yeah, the town, I love it. It's not super big. It's a good size. We all the boys, we get to go out to eat and stuff, and we get to sometimes we go to a movie and all that stuff. So yeah, I really like it here. It's been an awesome experience.
Favorite place that you've been to eat so far here in Minot?
Favorite place, either ND Asia or just the basic Qdoba. All the guys go to Qdoba probably once or twice a week, and then every once in a while we'll go to ND Asia and have some hibachi. You sit around the grill and they have the little fire and they cook in front of you, so that's pretty fun.
What's the locker room chemistry been like recently? Teams starting to get hot, playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of our players are starting to gel together. Like especially our line, we're starting to click as of lately and playing really well. So I think as the season rolls on, players generate more chemistry with each other and things start to click even more and more. And if everybody starts buying in, good things will start to happen. So
You mentioned chemistry is going well. Tomorrow, a big day in the North American League, the trade deadline tomorrow. So, don't know for sure anything's going to happen, but historically Marty's been pretty aggressive around the deadline. Is that something you guys have at all talked about in the room as a group when the coaches aren't around?
I mean, sometimes you'll think about it, be like, hey, like trade deadline's coming up, like, but we never know. Like you'll never know who's gonna get traded or what Marty sees, but if anything happens, it happens. You just gotta hope for the best and hope for the best whoever leaves, so we'll see what happens, I guess.
Well, Kyle, we got 2 more people to get to, so appreciate you coming on, and we'll probably have you on once more before the end of the year. So thanks for being on.
Thank you.
We'll let you get back to watching The Bachelor.
Yeah, that's right. I'm missing some of it, so.
All right, either Owen or Sam. Which one's up? Oh, bummer. Fans, please welcome Mr. Owen Bumgarner to Toros Weekly for the first time. Owen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, you also were selected to the NHL selects, or the NAHL selects team. What's that feel like to you?
Obviously, it feels really great. First year here, and the youngest you can be to be on the team, which was pretty sweet. And obviously, the top kids in the league, so it's pretty good honor to be picked to do it. So,
you've been out for a stretch here with an injury and illness. I imagine you're back in the lineup soon. How important are these few games before prospects to just get your timing and allowing yourself to put on the best possible performance in front of all the college and NHL scouts?
Yeah, it's very important just because, I've missed about a month now at this point. So getting my feet back under me and everything to get ready to play is really, really important.
You briefly mentioned that you were the youngest guy on the team. What are some things that you've seen this year that you just probably wouldn't see playing anywhere else, just being the youngest guy?
Everyone's taken me under their wing and stuff, and everyone's been super welcoming and everything, even though I'm 4 years younger than them and everything. But yeah, that's about all I've really noticed. Everyone's got really good chemistry in the locker room. Everyone jokes around, has fun with each other. So,
do you think there are any challenges being so young in a league that typically trends older?
To a point, I think obviously they're probably stronger and stuff because of how much more mature they are. But if you have the right mindset and you have the skills, I guess it doesn't really affect you if you can play at a high level.
Being able to play in this league for 4 years now,
Yep.
I'm still learning all the things myself. But to have that ability to play for 3 years here, how do you think that's going to really help your game?
I just think I don't have to really rush to go into college or anything like that. I have just a really long time to make a decision and develop my skills and get ready for the next level.
Yeah, you mentioned that adjustment and the skills that you clearly play a high skill game when you're in the lineup. How much do you think you model your game after a certain defenseman? Are there any guys in the NHL? Obviously you're more of I'm a huge Blackhawks fan growing up in Chicago. You're more of a Duncan Keith type than say a Brent Seabrook type.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely try to model my game after Quinn Hughes, definitely, and then defensively more of a Jacob Slavin for Carolina. Really good defensive defenseman, so just working on in-zone stuff, but then also being on the rush.
Briefly you said you missed about a month. What are some things that you've been doing behind the scenes to get back into this lineup?
Well, I've been doing as much as I can. I've been staying after practice, skating a ton, biking, doing running, working out, everything to get my conditioning back up and get ready to play again.
How much of a help has Kevin been down in the training room?
Oh, he's the best. If it weren't for him, I don't think I'd be even ready to play at this point. He's made me do a lot of extra stuff to get ready. So,
what are some of those things that he's made you do?
I had to do a lot of biking and then running a lot of laps up at the top on the rink, like a lot of laps. So,
you obviously your first year junior, you're a young guy. What has the adjustment been like to this level of play, and then what are your expectations now as we hit the final 19 games of the regular season, plus hopefully a good long playoff run?
Yeah, I think playing in this league besides what I was playing last year, I think it's definitely a lot faster, a lot more physical. Guys will hit you every time, not just some of the times, and these last 19 games are very important for us in the standings, and I think it'll only get harder and harder as the year goes on.
Has there been one hit that's been delivered to you that you truly remember and felt the most?
It was St. Cloud, more towards the beginning of the year. I passed the puck up to the wing in our zone. I tried to just cut around him into the middle, and he stuck his knee out. I did a full front flip, and then Skinner came in and beat the guy up. So got in a fight, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Coming in, obviously, you probably didn't know exactly how big your role would be being one of the young guys. Did you set individual goals for yourself as far as games played, goals, assists, and have you had to change those now that you've missed some time with injury? And kind of what are you hoping to accomplish in this final couple of months?
Well, I didn't really have any expectations coming in. I was just hoping to develop and get better and better, and then for next year be as good as I can be if I decide to come back here, and then see what happens from there.
Any specific goals as far as the rest of this year?
Just hopefully play every game now and maybe don't get any more injuries, and help the team maybe work on a little more defensively in the zone and boxing guys out in front, and that's about it.
Owen, appreciate you coming on the
Thank you
show,
very
man.
much. It's awesome.
Yeah. Fans, that's Owen Bumgarner. All right.
Skins.
Sam, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. Doesn't matter which way these go on.
They do not. Fans, please welcome our third and final guest for tonight's show. And his first time on the show, actually,
Yeah.
Mr. Sam Skinner. Sam, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Skins, it's been a long season and an extra long season for you. Let's start right off the top. You were blogging along the way when you were in Sochi representing the North American League and Team USA in the World Junior. I forget exactly the title. Serious Junior World Games. Something like that. But for Team NA. What was that experience like, and do you feel like maybe those extra miles have taken a toll on you at all?
I don't think they've taken a toll on me at all, but it was a great experience. It was super fun, especially seeing like a new country. Never been really outside the country unless you count Canada, but so yeah, it was an awesome experience.
What was one thing that you truly noticed a difference between playing in the United States as per Russia?
Well, the rink was way bigger, way wider. They always played on like Olympic-sized rink, and then just the puck control. It was way more of like they would never like dump the puck. They'd just regroup if they ever couldn't get in the zone. It's a different play style.
One of the other little quirks of playing that, obviously, one player from each NA team, so they couldn't send all the NA coaches. They chose Scott Langer, the head coach of the Aberdeen Wings, to be the head coach of Team NA. For you, having now played for Scott Langer from Aberdeen, now we face off against him this weekend. We've played him a few times. Do you feel like that gave you any insight into what he's trying to do with the Wings?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we ran the exact systems that they do for their team, so it kind of it makes me understand their forecheck and what they try to do. Definitely drives me to beat them though.
What was your take on him as a coach? Did you enjoy playing for him, I guess?
Not really. I didn't really like the guy, but I'm sure some people do, so.
So you'll be playing for him. Well, no, you won't be playing for him because you're on Team Selects. What does it mean to you now, having been selected for Team NAHL, come back and wear a letter for the Toros, and now being chosen for top prospects on the NHL Central Scouting Selects team?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I feel like my game's grown a lot this year from last year. It's like an honor, you know. It's really cool to be selected for that. So,
you unfortunately weren't selected last year.
Yeah.
Obviously going this year. What are some adjustments that you've made to your game?
I really think it's just confidence. I knew what to expect coming into this year. I knew my billets already, so it wasn't like a awkward period of time trying to get to know everybody, and I knew most of the team already, so I think it's just a comfortability and confidence thing.
We have a really young team this year, a lot of new guys in town.
Yeah.
Did they come to you? Did you go to them with any advice about just being in Minot and moving into someone's house for the first time and not knowing them?
Nobody really here has come to me, but we all kind of just talk about it together. Like, if anybody's got any issues or anything, we all help out to solve it. I have had a couple of friends from back home that I've played hockey with in the past that they text me and say, hey, is it worth going to play juniors somewhere? And I always tell them, yeah, it's a great experience. So
I'm gonna go all the way back to the training camp here. After you got back from Sochi, we kind of did those meeting Toros things, and one of the things you said was if you weren't playing hockey, you'd be TikTok famous. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What would you be famous for on TikTok if you weren't playing hockey?
Yeah, dancing for sure. That's probably my secret talent, I'd say.
We've caught you a couple of times in the tunnel on camera between periods. Is that just something you do to stay loose physically, or does it help you more mentally, you think?
Kind of both. It's kind of like a let loose mentally, give myself a little break, and then get back to it. So,
dancing also, you had to sub in for an injured Marty Murray for Dancing with the Stars, the Minot version for Special Olympics. Yeah. What was that experience like, and just going up and performing and actually having some of your teammates in the crowd?
My heart was racing. I was going nuts right before I went out, and then once I was out there, I was fine. It was a fun experience.
What made you more nervous, doing that or playoffs last year?
Doing that for sure. That was so nerve-wracking. And I think it was worse for the rehearsal. Just dancing in front of the other dancers was like, oh gosh, they're gonna judge me.
Now, one other thing before we let you go, you've got I don't know, a superstition or a ritual where you like to be the last guy off the ice after warm-ups. I've seen you. You'll leave. Usually there's a guy on the other team who has the same deal.
Yeah.
And I think I've even helped you out a couple times in Cloquet or other places where you can see me from the tunnel up in the press box. What's the origin of that? And is it something that you think about after it's done? Or, if you're not the last guy out, does it bug you all night?
It would bug me at the start of the game, for sure. I know a couple times, I think the first weekend in Brookings, the ref kicked me off, and it's hard to go back out on that rink. So it was kind of in my head for a little bit, but it's just I always come in and tell the boys won the first battle of the game. So that's kind of what it is for me.
All right. Well, I'll have to keep giving you a heads up then when their guy leaves.
Yeah.
How important do you think winning that first battle is mentally for you, and then probably more for the team as well?
Yeah, it just gets everybody fired up. It gets everybody ready to go, And, you win your first battle, it leads to more. So,
Sam, we appreciate you coming on the show. Congratulations on being selected to the NAHL Selects team. So
thank you.
Yeah.
So that was Sam Skinner. We heard from Kyler Clevin and Owen Baumgartner earlier. That's 3 of the 6 guys who made it to top prospects this year for the Toros, and we'll still have Benny on next week, even though he's not going now. Just
we can talk about Wisconsin with him.
I suppose unless the league decides to pick AJ to take his spot, then
we may have 4.
We may have 4 guys, but yeah. Before we get to the next Toros Weekly, though, we've got a big weekend against Aberdeen.
Exactly, yeah. Going to Aberdeen for 2 games, huge games. 8 points, 6 points behind them.
8 points back, 8. Yeah.
But right there with them, we have them for 2 this weekend. Then at home for the final makeup game on the 12th. And then we got 2 more with them towards the end of the year. So
towards the end of the month, actually.
Towards the end of the month,
5 of the next 7 are against Aberdeen. Just mix in a St. Cloud weekend and top prospects. So, yeah, we go to Aberdeen this weekend. They come here on next Wednesday. So actually, Toros Weekly next week will be on Tuesday because we got
more pressing matters to take care of.
The Wings on Wednesday, and then we'll head to St. Cloud the weekend after that, and then the guys will head off to top prospects. We get a weekend off, and then we close the month February 28th and 29th, family weekend for the boys, and hopefully we'll have a lot of player families here in town and a couple of wins over the Aberdeen Wings.
Exactly, and with all these games against the Wings, who knows how those standings will look like when the calendar changes to March.
10 points directly on the line with them, plus hopefully you hope to get 4 points out of St. Cloud, so a chance really here over the next month, the rest of February, to take control of the division if we want it.
It's going to be a really fun show the rest of February. Fans, it's another fantastic episode of Toros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos, for Ken Oda. Sean Bachhoven once again doing a fantastic job behind the scenes. Patty Bachhoven for once again providing the cookies for the players. And Ken and myself.
Yeah, don't act like we're not eating tacos.
Until next week, we'll see you later, fans. Have a good one.